Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Cleveland Browns today, 27-14. The Steelers were led by an opportunistic defense, starting with Cam Hayward. He had 2 sacks on the day. I call him Hootie. That's his nickname. He is playing the best football of his career after an injury. I love seeing him do great. He represents the Steelers in every type of way, in a positive way, off the field, on the field, the way he carries himself. I can't say enough good things about Cam Hayward. He's one of my favorite Steelers ever. We also had 2 interceptions on the day. James Pierre had an interception, and Keanu Benton, all 350 pounds of them, picks off a screen pass and almost runs it back for a touchdown. TJ Watt had a decent day. He started off the game with a huge hit behind the line of scrimmage, a tackle for a loss. He was kind of quiet after that. He's getting pressure. He's playing well. I personally believe that TJ is a little nicked up. You saw on one play, he wasn't really touched, and he's reaching for his groin, and he walks off the field. Then he's back on the field the next play. When I watch him run the last couple of weeks, something tells me that he has a lower back problem, a hamstring injury, a groin. I don't think TJ Watt is healthy 100%. That's just my opinion. That's just an outside observation. But he's playing great football. The defense is playing great. They lead the league in takeaways. An opportunistic defense where everybody's doing their job. Deshaun Elliott, he had 9 tackles today. He had a great game. He's been a great pickup for the Steelers. This is the best Steelers team that I've seen in a while. Since Big Ben, since Polamalu, since those guys did their thing, this is the best Pittsburgh team in a while. Kicking game, defense, offense, special teams. It's a really good unit. Today's game was a little sloppy for my taste. I'm not going to lie. I am very critical of George Pickens, but I'm not going to lie. When I found out 20 minutes before the game started he wasn't going to play, not only did I get a weird vibe, but I felt there was a weird vibe on the Steelers team. They didn't blink. They didn't make excuses. Billy Miller stepped up. He had a good game today. He stepped right in line. But the offense without George Pickens is not the same. It doesn't hit on all cylinders as fast. I think if George plays today, the score 27-14 is a lot worse. I predicted him to have 8 catches for 114 yards and a touchdown today. I said that Russell Wilson would throw for 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris would have 1 running score. I also said that TJ Watt would have 2 sacks. That was the only thing I was wrong about today. But you could see this game coming a mile away, that the Steelers were going to dominate the Cleveland Browns. Everything is timing. Every game is timing. The Browns, the last game, they caught the Steelers off a short week with the Ravens. I'm not saying it was a gift. Every NFL victory means something, but they caught the Steelers at the right time. The Steelers could have played a lot better today. They were in full control of this game from start to finish, but they could have played much better. I know when they watch the film, they will agree. Again, a win is a win. I love the end zones being painted in yellow. Stick to the old traditions. Honor the traditions. Honor the customs of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The fans love the little things. I know I do. Online, when you see a lot of the comments in the comment section, a lot of the fans love that the end zones were painted in yellow. I hope we bring out the Bumblebee uniforms for the playoffs. I know that'll get the crowd cranked up, or the 75th anniversary uniforms, which a lot of fans don't like. They don't like the white pants. I love the yellow helmet, the black shirt. Maybe we could do something else with the pants, but that's not the tradition. So just leave the pants alone. I don't care. I'd love to see the Bumblebees during the playoffs, though. Let's get into the stats. Russell Wilson, 15 for 26, 158 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns. He was only sacked once. That was more or less towards the end of the game also. Myles Garrett. He was shut down for a majority of the day. The Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line did a great job of shutting him down. Najee Harris had 16 carries for 53 yards. He only averaged 3.3 yards a carry and a touchdown. Jaylen Warren was next up, 9 carries for 47 yards. He averaged 5.2 yards a carry. As a team, the Pittsburgh Steelers today ran the ball in total for 120 yards. That's excellent. Anytime you go over 100 yards in an NFL game, your chances percentage-wise go up of victory. So I love seeing the Steelers run the ball. Pat Freiermuth had 3 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown. His longest receiving catch of the day was 21 yards. Scotty Miller, who stepped in for George Pickens, 3 receptions for 38 yards. He averaged 12.7 yards a reception. His longest catch of the day was 21 yards. Mike Williams stepped it up. He had 3 catches for 36 yards. He averaged 12 yards a catch. His longest catch of the day was 22 yards. This is where the Steelers really hurt you out of the backfield. Jaylen Warren had 2 receptions for 25 yards, and he averaged 12.5 yards a reception. Those receptions really hurt a defense, especially on third down. Najee didn't really get things going today in the passing game or running, but he ran tough, he ran hard, he scored a touchdown, and that's all that matters. Usually, every game, usually Najee has 5 to 6 catches for 34 yards, along with Jaylen Warren, and that destroys NFL defenses. Leading the defense today was Deshaun Elliott in tackles. He had 9 solo tackles, 13 on the day, 1 pass deflection. Patrick Queen had a good day, 10 total tackles, 5 solo. Cam Hayward, 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 quarterback hits. I mean, he's playing great. Hootie's doing his thing. I'm glad to see him back. Minkah, 5 tackles, 1 solo. You know, there's a lot of heat on Minkah Fitzpatrick that he's not making splash plays. But when you watch the All-22 film and you hear the defensive coordinator and the Steelers insiders talk, they're using Minkah to take away parts of the field that quarterbacks are comfortable throwing to. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are forcing quarterbacks to go to other areas of the field that they don't like to throw to, and they're totally avoiding Minkah Fitzpatrick for the most part. I'm going to give you a stat that's not a lie, that's not an exaggeration, that I don't want to hear that Minkah doesn't deserve his contract. This is the stat. When Minkah Fitzpatrick doesn't play, the Steelers give up twice as many points. You heard that right. Twice as many points. For all those fans that can't add and just scream because they see Minkah making $100 million and he doesn't deserve his contract, that means if the Steelers give up 10 points a game, now they give up 20. If they give up 21 points a game, that means they give up 42. Just knock it off already. He's a Steeler through and through. He keeps his mouth shut. He shows up for work, 100% effort. He's all about his business. We've all watched Hard Knocks. What's there not to like? We're going to bring Mike. I can't even remember, guys. He was terrible. Steelers gave him $50 million a couple of years ago. He used to come out with the handkerchief across his face. He's a total idiot. All bark, no bite. That guy. So what? We should bring in somebody like that? Just knock it off. Knock it off with the talk that Minkah needs to be cut, let go, doesn't deserve his contract. It's ridiculous. Peyton Wilson, 4 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. The rookie's doing his thing. TJ Watt, 4 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss, 2 quarterback hits. He's getting pressure. Just because he didn't sack somebody today doesn't mean he's not playing well. He could be, I really believe that everybody's banged up this time of the year. But for the last couple of weeks, when I watched TJ run, I'll say it again, I don't think he's completely healthy. And if he was, he'd be playing even more dominant than he already is. Elandon Roberts, you know, he's not always on the field, but when he gets his snaps and he's got to make a big play, stopping the run. He always comes through. When the Steelers played the Cowboys on 4th and 1 on that goal line, Landon Roberts makes the play and stops him. The Steelers should have won that game. He does this week in and week out. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. He makes the big play when he has to. He always makes the big play when it's crucial. I love Landon Roberts. He's a great player. Keanu Benton, all 345 pounds of him today. Had a pick, ran it back 25 yards. It was a great sight to see. Great team effort with the defense. They definitely led the way today for the Steelers' victory. The Steelers' offense wasn't clicking on all cylinders till after the half. Hey, it's going to happen sometimes. A victory is a victory. And the elite kicking weapon for the Steelers, Chris Boswell, 2 for 2 with field goals. He had a long kick of 54 yards, 3 for 3 for extra points. Listen, playoff time, cold weather time, do not take any extra points for granted. Cleveland Browns today, the kicker, he didn't miss extra points. He missed field goals, short field goals. Could have easily put the Browns back in the game, but he missed the field goals. Don't take anything that Chris Boswell does for granted. Remember the Steelers? Remember the Patriots? Their weapon of mass destruction, the kicker that won them more Super Bowls and playoff games than any other player on the team. Appreciate Chris Boswell. That's all I'm saying. So once again, I predicted this, that the Steelers would absolutely dominate the Cleveland Browns. I'm not surprised. We need to get back to work. We need to play much better football to beat the Baltimore Ravens. We got the Ravens coming up on a short week, and then it's going to be a tough game. I believe we beat the Ravens. We have Lamar Jackson's number. We know what to do to him defensively to make him uncomfortable. We are a better team, I believe, than the Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes, the X factor on a short week against our most physical rival, it's going to be a super hard game to win. If the Steelers go 3-0 in this next 3-game stretch, I'm going to be super impressed. The Buffalo Bills, I think the Buffalo Bills are a better team than Kansas City Chiefs. We all know it's going to come down to 3 teams for the Steelers to get to the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's who it's going to be. In the AFC, that's who it's going to be. To beat Josh Allen, we are going to have to do everything right. We're not going to be able to start slow. We're not going to be able to give up stupid penalties. George Pickens and Joey Porter Jr. today. Joey Porter Jr. had a stupid 15-yard penalty way after the play was over. You can't do that. You can't do that when you play the Bills. You can't do that. You can't have penalties like that. You can't start slow. There was a roughing call against Highsmith today, which was absolutely ridiculous. That almost changed the course of the game. Any swing and momentum, no matter how small or big, in a playoff game is huge. We got to tighten up the next 3 weeks. We got to eliminate mistakes. Great victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's keep the machine rolling.